Oh, do you want to grab me some water before I start?
You've already started.
Okay, do you want to grab me some water anyway? Just in a cup would be good.
What, just on your face?
Not just throw it at me. Hello friends, welcome. It's Painting Toy Soldiers with me, Big Deno.
And a glass of water.
And a glass of water provided by Mossy, the German superstar. Say some German.
No.
Nein.
Nine!
See ya. And Ellie's here as well. She's doing some weird stuff with her leg. She's scratching with a weird leg. Oh no, she's having a good time. Hey.
Just cleaning herself.
Hey kid.
Have you put her emoji up?
Oh, I got to do that. Yeah, let's do that now. Hang on, I think I can do that. Twitch. This will be great stuff. Where do I do this? Viewer rewards, is that right? Emotes.
Where have you got the photos recently?
There we go. I can put this one. Okay, sweet. Hang on.
Can I see your screen?
No.
Because you've got the funny photos on there.
Yeah. This is great viewing for everyone, I'm sure. No, I want Boomer. That's a funny one.
No.
Okay, not a funny one, apparently. That's a good one.
No. Getting closer.
There we go, okay.
The bottom one, the bottom one.
The bottom one. No, that's stupid. This one. Alright. Stand by. If anyone's there, good. No one's here at the moment, so...
Can you tell that no one's there?
Well, I'm assuming that that no one's there. Go away. Thing.
Because I'd be a bit bored by this.
Yeah, this is boring stuff. Okay. So, I just need to crop this. I think I have to select it. Okay, and then no. Yes, magic cutout. No, that's not quite right. Lasso.
Wow.
What?
This is fun.
Is it not fun?
Don't forget an ear.
Yeah, I'm getting her ear in there.
I think cut off her whiskers.
That's alright. We need to keep that. If anyone's just joined, I'm making an emote of Ellie at Mossy's request. And that's why we're not painting just yet.
This is the entree.
This is the entree. Okay, file. So how do we save that now? Save as a JPEG. Great stuff, Deno. You're working beautifully. How is it a PNG? Sure, let's do that. Okay, let's try that. Image is not square shaped. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I say to you that it is. I contend that you are wrong. Okay.
Done.
Try again. PNG, save, save, excellent, upload.
Alright, now you can start painting.
Yeah. Okay, it's still just uploading. I don't know why. No one's watching good. I'm sure people are watching. And the funniest thing is that no one even sees this on YouTube. People only see it on Twitch.
What comes up?
No, you can do it on. I used to have a chat box. Here it is. I used to have a chat box. So if I type hello, I've turned the chat box on.
Oh.
So yeah, I've turned that on. That's good to have that on. Is this
Talking
uploaded
with all
yet?
your friends?
Yeah, I'm always talking with all my friends. Emote successfully uploaded into your collection, added to slot. This is called Ellie. So now, if Mossy wants to go in here, she can add an emote by going to... Those are just my ones. Where's mine?
I'll go on mine.
Yeah.
There it is, I saw it.
It hasn't quite figured it out yet. But yeah, you should be able to do it by going there.
Cool, man.
Alright, man, let's start painting anyway. Hello, everyone. We're going to paint this girl. But I thought I might show off a couple of the projects I've got upcoming because I've got a lot of them. Probably too many. I've actually hit that point of, oh, goodness me, what have I done? Just my excitement. So I've got the dinosaurs diorama, which will be priority project number 1 that I've shown off. But I also picked up a box set that I talked about, which is Warhammer Quest Darkwater. And I've based everything, and everything's assembled, and it's all good, man. So all I've got left is gap filling. I just got to fill some gaps, and we're underway. We're ready to roll. Do some mold line trimming. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That I picked that up. It's done. I've actually got the whole every model's assembled and based. It's ready to go. I just got to fill the gaps. Crazy stuff. This guy, which is from the Champions of Sona, he's assembled and ready to be painted as well, which is very exciting. This one is a commission that I have I haven't got a time frame on, but I do want to do it soon. So this is I've got two of these models, fire and air. So these were the elements. I've actually done this model before in my Temple of the Elements. But yeah, this is exciting to be doing this one again. She's very pretty, and she's got a phoenix up the top. So that will be probably, might do this next even. Then I've got these two little ones that are sort of underway, in progress, that I thought it might be nice to do. Well done, Paint Liquor. That's impressive stuff from you. I was going to say, my audio is presenting fine for now. And then that's pretty much it from the ongoing project. And obviously I've got Ionis Cryptborn, which I bought and assembled, and a Roman Twibune. Twibune. Oh, what have we done here? That's okay. That's good. But now we're going to do Tachyon Nodachi Ruby today. Here she is. Okay, let's do some... How are we going to go about this? She's going to be a cool model. I'm excited about doing her again. He's fine. He's fine. I just don't want those two to get paint on them. Okay. Let's dance. Gonna be okay. Alexa, airbrush on. Thanks, Alexa. You saucy minx. Tell me, Paint Liquor, can you see a new emote under my emote collection? Mossy and I just put together a little Ellie emote. Good. I don't reckon I've actually looked at this model, you know. I just buy most of these Indomitable Survivors and Seed Pattern Survivors that come out. They're just really nice models generally, and I like the content. Yeah. I do wish that they had less king ones. So many kings. There's been like 5 Indomitable King resources, which is just a bit much, given that most people will never face a level 3 king in their gaming career. Literally never. But hey, I do. So I reckon we might airbrush some magenta. Do I have a magenta in my new Vallejo range? I have not got a magenta. That might be nice to pick one up. This is slightly lighter than the Chimera magenta and has a little more. Oh, thanks, Paint Liquor. You didn't need to do that, mate. No one needs to subscribe to me. Hey! Ellie. It works. How good. I'm a technological wizard. You gotta pay? Yeah, pay you $6, mate. Pay you $9. Well, I appreciate that, mate. I can guarantee, though, that Eric's KDM content is a lot better than mine. From a painting perspective, anyway. I think I've got him covered on gaming. Just barely. Alright, now I'm going to go into a warm colour. I might use pastel pink, actually. Let's see if this is a good plan or a bad plan. This might be a bad plan. We'll see. I told you I got a new airbrush, right? I'm not using it right now, but I have been using a little bit of it. Yes, I have it here. It's the the Squidmar Infinity CR Plus. It is quite impressive, actually. I've only ever used Iwata. This is the first Harder and Steenback I've picked up. Pretty cool. I've been using this Iwata, which is a HPCS, which doesn't have a super tiny nozzle. It's got a small nozzle, but it's not like as fine as... I've got another Iwata that does have a finer nozzle, but I've found that if you can do stuff with a bigger nozzle, then you can do stuff with anything. So I've just used the bigger nozzle and just gotten used to it. But yeah, I tried that one for the first time with the smaller nozzle, and I was like, holy shit, I can do some crazy stuff with this. That should do for what I want to do. So do I. Was Mossy's birthday this week? Turned 50. Didn't you, Moss? Yeah. Alexa, airbrush off. She didn't turn 50. That's funny stuff from me. No, she didn't turn 50. I don't think you're supposed to tell people how old women are. But she's old. Come out here and say it. G'day Mose, it's going well. How are you going? That's quite a good rule. So to answer your question, I guess, well, you didn't ask a question, but I'll answer the question. Mossy just turned 27. Well done. 3 busts is impressive. I've just got 1 bust sitting right here that's impressive enough. So I have just restarted for probably the 5th time the Dresden Files audiobooks narrated by James Masters, because on my recent trip holiday I started the last book, the latest book in the Dresden Files. I haven't finished the latest book in the Dresden Files yet because stuff was happening in the first chapter. I was like, I fucking don't remember that. I do not remember that at all. And so I thought to myself, rather than press on with this and try to pick stuff up as I go along, I'm going to just start again and reread the whole series. And I have all of the books on my Kobo, but the audiobooks are really great. Really great. So I thought to myself, yeah, I'm just going to re-listen to them all. So yeah, if you haven't listened to the audiobooks of the Dresden Files, I do very highly recommend them. If you don't know who James Masters is, he played Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he's awesome. I have just finished Dungeon Crawler Carl. I haven't, because the latest book just came out. Book 8 just came out. I just finished book 7. The actual books. No. There we go. All right. They did a role playing game and a remake of a really good board game called Unstoppable, which just recently finished a Kickstarter / campaign. It was actually on BackerKit, but yeah, I picked up the Unstoppable board game version, and I'm extremely enthusiastic about it. Looking forward to it arriving. Yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's not gonna, for me, it's not gonna win any awards. It's not like revolutionary. It's this genre that I've never really read before. Lit RPG. That one doesn't have minis, no. But the role playing game does have minis. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed lots of aspects of it. It was nice to read. It was nice to have something to read. I read through the entire series while I was away in Sweden. Yeah, so it was fun. It's a fun book. Okay. So we'll use this lilac for the feathers. And then we'll spray with some purple. Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but the first book's good. As it progresses, I think it definitely gets better. But there is books in the series where I think it's got so much it's got so much lore and world building. And I got to a point in one of the books where I was just so confused at what was actually happening. But I think that would be a little bit easier to follow on a reread. I think there would be a lot of additional stuff you would get in a reread. But that brings me to a very interesting conversation topic. And I don't know if people agree or feel differently. As I've gotten older, right, all I generally want to do is reread and rewatch the same stuff. The stuff that I've seen already. My tolerance for watching new movies and or shows has definitely decreased. I'm just so much more excited about, like, I'm rewatching The Expanse for like the 5th time. And there is so much good shit in The Expanse. It is just ass-kickingly good. And every time I watch it, I pick up new things, and I'm more and more impressed with the acting and the plot. And if I had the choice right now to start a new book series or reread an old one, I would just reread an old one. And that's normally what I default to. And I think that's I do have Foundations on my list. I started the first episode. I think I finished the first episode and started the second. And I was trying to think about why that is. Now, obviously, there's an element of that comes down to, like, autistic traits where you want to have control over something comfortable and something that's familiar. But I don't know. I don't think that's the only element of it. I think there's got to be something like, I'd rather watch something that's I know is good than waste time with something that might be not as good. I've read a lot of books, watched a lot of TV shows, and most of them are just okay. I have no desire to rewatch Xena and Hercules, for example. Does it cost me money to gift a subscription to someone? It does. Ridiculous. Why do I do that? Why does it cost me? Can't I just give someone a subscription to my channel? No, I want manual focus. There you go, Xena and Hercules. I watched the crap out of them when I was younger. There was another show that was big in Australia that I don't know if it got over there. It was called Raw, Roar, and it was set in Celtic times, and it was Heath Ledger's first role, right? So, it was about Heath Ledger, who was like this tribal chieftain, and it weaved in Christian lore. It was about the spear of destiny, which was apparently the spear that stabbed Christ on the cross, and it was sick. It was around the same era as Xena and Hercules when they were really popular, and so they were like, yeah, let's do another one. It was filmed in Australia, I think, and it was sensational. And I used to record on my family's VCR. I used to record Xena and Hercules and Raw, and I used to cut out the commercials so I could rewatch them at any time. How good. Yeah, that was his breakout, and the show only got one season. I think it might have got two, actually. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. But yeah, that was what launched his career, basically, because he was so good in it. So I can't quite get these new Valeos. I can't quite land them the way that I want to with skin tones. I don't seem to be figuring them out yet. Okay, well, that's fine. It's maybe translucent's maybe not the right word, but it's certainly close to what I'm finding. It's kind of this weird thing where they apply more translucent when you're applying them, but then they dry not as translucent. So it's almost like you apply them and they look like you haven't done enough, so you apply more, and then they dry and they're stronger. And I'm kind of used to the opposite with the AK paints and the Chimera, which is they're very heavily pigmented, so when you apply them, they basically do what they look like, but then they dry a little more matte, whereas the Vallejo's not quite as matte. It's just got a little bit more satin, which obviously contributes as well. And see, the thing is, I like the finish though. There's a lot of paints in the Vallejo stuff, because I went and bought like 20 or 30 of them. But yeah. Well, exactly. Just use the Chimera. you know, maybe mixing with some inks might be a good approach, but we'll figure it out. I don't need to use them after all, I can just... But I've always felt that Vallejo was actually the best paint range for new painters to start with, because they just, especially the original model colouring, they just felt like they were the nicest to work with. Chimera's not very forgiving because the pigment's so strong. Don't do that. Don't postpone using them. You need to use them because they are absolutely baller. They're just, they're a lot different to a lot of paint ranges, I reckon. Oh, I'm going to use some on this. I pretty much use Chimera on everything because they just have this incredible punch and vibrancy. And the Chimera Magenta is just absolutely kick-ass. That was PVA glue, by the way, to fill the gaps in the arms that I didn't notice I missed. Alright, this is the magenta, the Chimera Magenta. It's got to be one of my most used colours. It's a bit darker. You can see it's a bit darker than the other magenta. But just look at this. When you just grab a tiny little bit of it, oh, it's muy potente. Very potent. I think I'm going to use it as a wash. So for my Kingdom Death models, I use the colour that I used to use was a thing called Chalice Red from Nocturna, and they don't make that anymore. So I replaced it with a mixture of the magenta and a tiny touch of the purple, which basically replicates the Chalice Red. But yeah, it is absolutely a fantastic colour to use as a base tone. Don't do that. Don't follow the rules, man. Just go ballistic. Just use it. Come on! Exactly. What could go wrong? Nothing. So Mossy and I have been looking into the possibility of redoing our kitchen in the house that we live in, that we bought. And it is wildly more expensive than I was aware of to do this type of thing. It's just a straight up scam. But anyway, I think we're going to do it. Yep. It's outrageous. It's outrageous how much it costs. Old man yells at clouds, complaining about the price of things. News at 11. Agreed. Such a wild place to find myself at, being the old man yelling at things. Young people these days, though. Okay, maybe I just need to be using a darker base coat. Interesting. Interesting. So I haven't yet received shipping notification for the Screaming God, but I have been charged for shipping. So that means if everything goes to plan, it might ship next week. And if it ships next week, it should arrive maybe, if we're lucky, by the end of the week, but probably more likely the following week, which will mean that our campaign can begin. Next campaign can begin around that time. Because the Screaming God and the Parasite Queen appear late in the piece, so I have time to paint them. Yeah, I'll build and paint on stream probably. Yeah, if I lived in America, I probably would do that. Um, but the Australian factory warehouse is a bit different. It's just another company. It's a company called Pick Pack Logistics, and I'm sure the response will be, yeah, our shipping partners are working on the fucking shipping and blah 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 blah. So, and at the same time, and this is not no disrespect to you, Mo. So please don't take it that way. Um, I'd rather just be patient and wait for them to get around it. You know, we get so much stuff shipped these days, and yet we've lost the ability to be patient. Kickstarters are definitely one that I think brings out some interesting traits in human beings. Seeing other people get toys before you seems to make people very angry. In Kickstarter comments and what have you. And I'm excited that people get their toys. I want everyone to get their toys. I got the Red Witches and the Pariah a tiny bit early before everyone else, mostly because I was in Australia. I mean, people were blowing up. Absolutely blowing up. Should get it built. Yeah, it is definitely a slow Kickstarter. There's no doubt about that. It is on another level with how long things take. So, no judgment. No, well, we the Australian thing gets, like, generally it used to be that we would get stuff before everyone because we were closer to China, so we would get stuff delivered to our thingies early, and then they'd just ship it out because that's what they did. So we would get heaps of stuff before everyone else in the world. The boats had even been unlocked or undocked, which is great for me. But yeah, a lot of companies now are trying to ship stuff in a way such that Australia gets their stuff arriving at around the same time as other places. So we tend to get shipped last. But that has had an effect where we now tend to be at the end of things because Australian dock unloading, ship working, blah blah blah, is a shit show at the moment. Which isn't a criticism of the dock workers. Just can't get staff. Yep, which brings me back to my very first point. It gets here when it gets here. I'll be chill. I'll be cool. I'd love to have my Screaming God. I'd love to be painting it and playing with it and streaming cool content. That's alright. I got other cool stuff to paint and play. I just set up a Hoplomachus Victorum thing that I'm going to stream tonight. Can't wait. Did I show off my Warhammer Quest Darkwater? I'll show off my Darkwater. I bought it the other day. At your request, I think, too, by the way. And Emily as well. Well, they generally just ship on a boat straight to us. Usually. But some companies have shipped, like there was stuff that went to Poland before it came to us. I don't know. And Primal went to Germany, shipped on a boat to Germany before it's coming. That's coming soon too. which is exciting. Yeah, I'll leave this to dry and I'll show off some dark water. Yeah, so I've assembled everything, which is cool. Here's the big boy. His name's Gelgus Pust. I'll zoom out a bit. Yeah, he's actually a big boy. I didn't realise he was quite as big. He's a very big boy. But yeah, so I sculpted all the bases, and then I've got all sorts of different basing materials in my cabinet, of course. But yeah, I just found a little container that I hadn't really used before, and it's got all sorts of weird little bits in it, you know. So I decided to try that. For a change, it's not normally how I base stuff, but I thought it looked good for dark water. That's a little elf guy. Yeah, there's some sick models in here. This Bretonian is unreal. This guy. Look at that. That's killer. And then this chick is fucking glorious. Really good. And I'm just going to do some little water effects around the bases because it's called Warhammer Quest Dark Water, obviously. These Nurgling, Plague Bearer guys are just absolute killer. And then they've got a whole, I think there's about 5 Nurgle Blight King type models, Chaos Warrior guys, that are fucking epic as well. Look at this guy with his axe. And then we've got Slug Guy. That's a sick Plague Bearer, Rock Plague Bearer guy. Awesome. He's got 3 heads too. Yeah, this guy, tremendous. And then this dude, which everyone was doing the rounds of, everyone was painting this guy, I reckon, with his big fat hand. He's a killer. So that's like 10 fucking epic models. What's this guy? Oh yeah, this guy's got his swingy flail. Sick. And then there's this Beastman Shaman, which is awesome. Sensational. Holding a heart, maybe? Holding a Beastman heart or something. Looks incredible. Sensational. Fucking awesome. And then, yeah, and then the heroes, there's a dwarf. I don't like dwarves, right? I hate dwarves. People would know that. I hate dwarves and I hate gnomes. I actually don't hate dwarves as much as I hate gnomes, but I find dwarf models to be less exciting. But this dwarf model is awesome. He's like a little hunter-trapper guy. He looks sensational. Great mage. He's got a little friend, a jade wizard. Awesome. Took me back in my Warhammer days, putting this guy together. Made remember all the schools of magic. Remember there was 8 schools of magic that you used to have in Warhammer? Amethyst, Jade. Sick. And then this guy's mad too. So yeah. So I'm really jazzed for them. I've got to fill all the gaps and do some mold line trimming. I didn't miss too many, but I missed a couple. So gap filling next, and then they're ready to go. But this is not going to happen soon, I don't think, because in terms of my priorities right now, I think it goes Parasite Queen and Screaming God, Dinosaur Diorama, probably Dark Water. But I don't want to start and then stop and then go back in and start. You know, so I want to basically do the Dinosaur Diorama first, I think. Is my plan. I don't dislike halflings anywhere near as much as I dislike those other two. Or do I? No, maybe I do. Maybe I just hate short people. You're a short motherfucker and nobody likes you. Short. It stops you from forming meaningful relationships. When you were born, everybody thought that you were just a head, but then the doctor said, wait. I love that video too. I send it to my short friends regularly. Craig Zog's a short guy. Send that to him. Yeah, look forward to Guilds Inn this year. I'm invited to be a judge in the Masters category, which is a great pleasure and privilege. There's probably a few people that would question my qualifications to be a judge at Masters these days. I haven't done anything Master quality really in a while. They don't stream the judging or anything, no. No, the streaming of events is pretty much driven by me for Crimson. Alexa, airbrush on. So I do like these inks. So this is a magenta ink from Vallejo. And I do like the inks. This could, I don't want to go too far, but this might have replaced Volupa's pink for me. Big call. Maybe not. Maybe not. Might just be a little bit too pink. Volupus is a little bit more magenta. Speaking of streaming, I was chatting to Devereaux from the Kingdom Death Discord. He just recently streamed a incredibly cool thing, which is the Upside Down Pariah Challenge. He played against a level 3 Pariah. It was a challenge developed by Taste, and he streamed it upside down with the board on the roof. It's the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen anyone do for Kingdom Death. Unfortunately, streaming is very hard, which he learned. And so I was chatting to him about streaming and what my setup looks like and how to make the video quality better and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, I don't think people realise quite how much of a bitch it is to stream board games. Like, this is easy. I've got one camera pointing down at my model and one camera pointing at my face. Easy. And you can have a light straight on this model. Just looks perfect. This is not a hard thing to set up and stream. Streaming board games though, I've been trying for years to make that quality as good as I want it, as good as it should be, you know? And let me demonstrate. Alexa, it's game time. Here is my, I'll turn this off so you can see. This is my setup. This is the room. This is the toy room, by the way. The camera's on, so don't walk in because people will be able to see you. Maybe. So you can see right there, I've got 3 lights pointing at my games table at specific angles. It is a big room.
It's the biggest room in the house.
It is, thank you for pointing that out, Moss. And there's my games in the background. I'll move my chair out of the way so you can see. Oh, there's another chair in the way. There is a thing attached to the roof where there's 2 cameras. One camera here, one camera here. That's Mossy's hand. This is another camera here, which is my side table. This is my face camera here. Here. And then I've got another camera that sort of sits above about here, which looks down. So I've got 6 cameras going at the moment on my board games table, and it's still it's still not at a quality that I think is good enough. It's ridiculous. But then over this way is all my model stuff. So I've got a big shelf there for all my toy stuff. That used to sit behind me at the old house. And then, yeah, you can't see...
The model cupboard.
Yeah, the model cupboard you can't see. If I turn the camera, Mossy's not going to be in this, but you can see there's the cabinet with the toys.
Turn the light
on. That one used to be, the command used to be let there be light. But that one doesn't work anymore because I had to turn off the, to get Alexa to do that, you need to have specific plugs, and they're like $15 each, and I only got 2 of them. And I should have got more because then I could do all sorts of cool shit. But anyway, Alexa, game over.
Big enough for your ego.
It's some good stuff from me. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I could set up a display case camera. That would be pretty straightforward.
Was that using the same camera?
Hmm?
You just used the same camera, just made it more wide.
Yeah.
Well, you're a clever little boy.
I am. It's very good of you to notice that.
You look small.
I am small. If you want a display case camera, we could get that happening. It's only really Kingdom Death. That's the only impressive part in the display case. I've actually got I've got about 6 models in there actually. Maybe I'll grab them out. I'll do some show and tell. While I'm waiting for the thing to dry. I'll turn the cabinet on. Can you see that in the background? You can't really see that in the background. I got heaps of stuff. So both of these have been sold. So I've got to ship them. So this one's sold. That's pretty awesome, really. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. It's pretty cool. And this one's sold. So this is quite good. I think this is one of the last things I've done that's been really good. So yep, so that's 2 of the things sitting in my cabinet, but they're about to go. They're getting shipped. I'll turn the filter off and I'll put the screen big again so you can see. Alexa, airbrush off. I'll turn on the lights as well. Alexa, it's game time. So I've got these 4. How do I work out how much to sell for? That's a good question. I'll turn my face off while I'm showing off the toys. While there's sort of a lot of different ways you could approach it, I have a tendency to just try to raw dog it. So I go, okay, this is how much time I spent on this piece, and so my going rate is about $50 an hour. So I times $50 by the amount of hours I spent, and then I add the cost of the model and the cost of shipping. The problem with that logic, the problem with my thing, and these ones are all ones that I haven't really tried to sell yet, but they'll all be for sale soon. 1, 2, this one. This girl will be for sale. Sweet Caroline. Ba-ba-bum. I don't know if I've showed this. I started this a little while ago. Quite a while ago. Long time ago. But I haven't finished her. I really should finish her. She's quite cute. Yeah, so it's kind of it's not an exact science for me. I'm sure that it is for other people. The problem that I have is that because I do things so quickly, the price that I quote people is often significantly less than what other artists would ask for their work. So, you know, this for example, like I'd probably turn off my face again. I'd probably be asking, you know, 300 USD, maybe 350, including shipping and the model. You know, it's like I spent 5 hours on it. So other people that paint busts like this probably charge 600, 700 euro. Admittedly, those are better, and they do have a higher finish, high quality. But yeah, I probably am undershooting what I could sell them for. And this is the only display stuff I've got. Everything else that you can see is all Kingdom Death. So Oblivion Mosquito, all my other monsters, all my other survivors. It's a lot of shit, man. Hey, settle down, buddy. And these two are for sale as well, but again, I don't really need to sell stuff. It's just, it's not a high priority. This one I tried to do a pretty nice job on, actually. I tried to do some nice work, and I achieved that. I'm quite happy with her outcome. Oh no. My favourite cream colour. Yeah, DC is a great example of the difference between he and I. Alexa, game over. His work is far higher quality than mine. And commensurately, he gets a higher sale price. He's like over $1,000 a model, USD. And fairly, I should say, well deserved, because his quality is significantly higher than mine. I might make these little things gold, I think. Everyone should try and buy a model from me. Yes. I agree. That day should be today. You should buy that Lolawend. Yeah, there's a lot of, that's a cool colour. There's a lot of nuance to pricing models that is not spoken about enough, I think, in the toy soldier painting world. But other people are better than I am at painting, and so they should be paid more than me, but then I do stuff quicker than them, etc, etc. My favourite way to mix a cream colour. Sorry, I don't do a massive amount of colour mixing. It's a fault of mine, because I have just lots of colours that I like from lots of different ranges. So the probably I don't mix colours because I'm more concerned about speed. But if I was going to mix a cream colour, I would obviously start with a white, and then I would mix in a tiny touch of the type of atmosphere I was looking for. So if I was looking for a warm atmosphere, I'd mix in a tiny bit of yellow. If I was looking for a cold atmosphere, I'd mix in a tiny bit of blue. I'd very much structure it that way. Usually if I'm going to sell models, I do one of two things. I message the collectors that have purchased my models in the past, or I post them on my Instagram stories to let people know they're for sale. That is pretty much the only thing I do to sell most of my toys. Have I ever regretted selling something? That's a fantastic question. No. No. I've not ever regretted selling something. I've sold a lot of toys. I have photos of all of them. They're all on my social media. And any moment I can sort of go back and look through them, which is the thing I think that you would say is most important, being able to remember them, the memories. But I like the experience of crafting it, the experience of painting it, and then you get to the end of that experience and you've got this super cool end result that doesn't do anything. I've regretted selling some board games, but I've never regretted selling a painted model. I did a fucking shit job with clearing out all of the little mild lines and stuff on this piece. This is a very bad job for me. I normally do a better job on my KDM than this. Actually, I think the challenge is I wasn't planning on painting this. I think I just was assembling it, and then I got excited the other day and I painted all my or undercoated all my models that I was excited about painting. Probably the only ones that I would come close to saying I regretted selling, I did my Monty Sansovino silver winning piece and SMC silver winning piece in Masters, by the way. I sold both of those, and well, it was the same one. And I remember thinking it would have been nice to have that on display in my cabinet with my medals next to it. But yeah, selling that sort of got me into the into the collector scene. And yeah, that was it. It's great. It's awesome to be able to sell. And look, I do these fucking stupid dioramas, right? If I didn't sell those, I would have no room left in this big room. They're all just stupidly large. So I'm very fortunate that I've been able to sell those. Jackie, when you lose control in the heat of the night. Yes. Don't have all of them, but they do have a large number of them. Most. I think there's only 2 or 1 that they don't have. They have all the big ones, which is cool. When I go out there one day, hopefully soon, it'll be pretty cool to see them all. One shelf. 4 shelves. The wing. The Trent Dennison wing. Yeah, it was really cool to sort of connect with Gary early on. It was awesome. Gary and I used to chat all the time. We don't have those conversations anymore because he's a lot busier these days. But back in the early days of the collection, we'd chat all the time, and I'd talk to him about why I was making these crazy big dioramas, and he loved the idea behind it, and he's the same. I think he's the same at heart as I am. He just he loves model trains and the hobby and everything. So yeah, it's cool. That's awesome that you went to see the collection at Gary's house. That's so cool. I've been meaning to go over a long time. He's asked me to come over a couple of times and hasn't quite worked out, but it's gonna happen in the next year when the vault opens. I'm jazzed for it. It'll be very cool indeed. It's just a privilege to be a part of that. I feel very, very fortunate to have been involved from an early stage, and he's kind of like a patron for the miniature art hobby. He does he has done a lot of stuff prior to me sort of selling stuff to Vercos. There was a couple of Chinese collectors that I was selling to, and they love it. They love it the same. They're mad keen on it. But yeah, Gary's doing such incredible things for the miniature community as a whole, and it's nice. It's nice to have that. I don't know how long we'll be fortunate enough to have that level of support. But it's super cool. Yeah. There was a video done by Squidmar where they went to his house, and yeah, I could give you about 4 moments when you can pause and you can see my toys, but yeah, it's wild. It's like nothing else. The, when I went to Monty and SMC for the first time, you walk into these rooms and you see so many incredible models, and it's just overwhelming. You know, you can't really understand how that much work and effort can be in the same room. And yeah, I can only imagine that Gary's collection feels very similar to that experience. He has painted a few things, but not a lot. Mostly D&D models for his D&D campaigns. But no, he's definitely predominantly a collector. Ah, awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, the big Deno collection over in that in the vault's going to be pretty cool. He's got all the dioramas. He's got all the big dioramas. Yep, yep. It's it's wild. But yeah, they're very close to the actual miniature museum opening now. So he bought some property right near Las Vegas Strip, and so turned it into a miniature museum, which is awesome. This is the one thing I'll say about Gary. He is just the kindest, uh, most generous person. Not just with his financial contribution, but also with his time and his energy and his support. You know, I have had many conversations with him, and he's just lovely, and he just wants people to paint toys and just loves the hobby. It's really awesome. Like I feel privileged, really genuinely privileged to have been a part of it. Nice man. I hope Dave will enter something into Guilds In. Yeah, I hope so. Been a while since I've judged Dave. Can't wait. I held off on painting this one because I didn't really like the detail. I don't really like the model that much. Alright, everyone that's in here that plays Kingdom Death, let's talk about my next campaign, which will be happening very soon. So I was thinking I should do a People of the Dreamkeeper campaign, because I haven't done one of those in a while, and one of the downsides of the People of the Dreamkeeper campaign, in my opinion, is that the God Hand is not a great final showdown. And then we do the following replacements. Instead of the Crimson Crocodile, we go the Frog Dog. Although I wouldn't mind doing the White Lion, because I haven't used Roaring Harmonica Kale. I haven't made the harmonica, but I think Frog Dog's the coolest. We then go Smog Singers, maybe, in Thingy 2. But again, Screaming Antelope's got some cool knowledges, and I haven't used Dashing Reaper Paleon as well. So that would be cool. And then for Node 3, that is more than likely going to be Phoenix. I know we've got Sunstalker, I know we've got Dragon King, but the Phoenix has got so many cool things now. It's got knowledges. We've got so many little dudes that have added equipment and gear to the Phoenix that I reckon it's worth having a dibble dabble with the Phoenix. Yes, yeah. In one of my campaigns recently, I got the mace. I think I like the halberd better. You're talking about the bully hammer that came in the Survivors of Death 2. I did get that in a campaign. It's awesome. I used it on Aya. There. Aya. So good. Whew, so good. And then Node 4 is obviously going to be the Screaming God. Which is cool. Has anyone who's got the Screaming God already, if anyone's in the chat, does it have knowledges? Yeah, I love Frog Dog's fights. Looking good, Moss. Where are we going today? It's not a surprise. I'm the one driving you there. So you got to tell me where we're going. We'll see. Okay. Good talk from you. And then what other content do you need to include? Oh yeah, which Wanderer? So I haven't used Preacher or Goth. So I need to decide which one of those I want to use. And what other exciting content stuff do you get to decide? I'm so jazzed. Preacher does sound interesting, you're right. What are you doing out there, Moss? You're killing it.
Nearly dropped a bowl on the floor.
Well, try not to do that. Hey.
That would have been real
Yeah. Not impressive from her. Cool. Alright, let's just do the Parasite brown hair maybe. That'll be fine. Almost look like golden hair. That's nice. Got a couple of colours that are just absolutely the reason I tried to dive into the Vallejo range. Parasite brown is one of them. Very, very good colour. Alright, let me think. Yeah, so Ark Survivors, yes. Oh yeah, Forge Priest. We'll definitely put the Forge Priest stuff in. Red Witches and Pariah, almost certainly. It might be nice to use Butcher with Red Witches. But I like Pariah. It's nice to have something different. And then Black Knight. I haven't done Black Knight for a while. I love the Black Knight. Just add all the content. Get it all in there. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. I really want Campaigns of Death to come out soon. I know everyone feels that way, but just little things like having a Gorm prologue so you can play the game as intended and have, Gorm as your only node one. At the moment, doesn't really work, which breaks a few things. The synergy stuff from combining, like the way that Red Witches and Pariah synergize is really cool. It's subtle, but it makes you feel like you're in a living world, and some of the stuff that was teased for things like Slenderman and Flower Knight, the way they combine, and other little combinations. That's just going to be really cool. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff in COD. that sound that just was my phone buzzing. It might be my turn in Through the Ages. Ooh. I do love Through the Ages, a new story of civilization. Yeah, the Big Butcher, the Dung Beetle Baron, People of the Mirror Stone. It's going to be sick. It's going to be absolutely sick. Alright. I want it all. Oh, my dad's calling. Stand by. I'll take this. I'll just mute my phone. Francesco.
Is that Judge Dennison?
Haha, it is, yes.
What's all that about?
What? My mum and dad we have this tradition for there's a sport that I follow called rugby league, which doesn't really get much traction over there in the US. And then there is a yearly thing that happens. It's called State of Origin, where it's kind of like a, I don't know, East versus West conference in the NFL that they do. I think that's the thing they do. It's kind of like that. So there's the regular competition that's played between all of the domestic sides, and then they have this moment during the middle of the year where they select teams based on where the players were actually born, not where they currently play. And so this thing's called State of Origin, obviously where you're born, your origin, and it is a phenomenon in Australia. It is the highest ranking sports event that occurs in Australia every year in terms of like viewers, and it's just incredible. And it's one of the most bruising and aggressive forms of rugby league. It is also the highest skill level. There are many people, myself included, who would say that State of Origin rugby league is better than international rugby league. So international rugby league, you know, it's Australia versus England and New Zealand and the Pacific nations, you know, like Tonga and Samoa, and it's always been okay. But State of Origin, the quality is incredible, right? So anyway, my mum and dad have a tradition every year for State of Origin. The first game, my mum makes a pie. It's called State of Origin pie, and I go to their house and have dinner for the first State of Origin match. And they were just calling to confirm that I'm going to State of Origin pie on Wednesday, because the first game is Wednesday. And yes, I am going to State of Origin and State of Origin pie. But if you haven't ever Googled rugby league and you want to know what it's like, which most people I'm sure won't, but State of Origin rugby league is what I would recommend you Google, and just watch some of the tackles, some of the stuff that goes on. It is outrageous. Can't break tradition, mate. It's bad luck if you did that. Yes, and so I live in Queensland, which is one of the teams that participates in State of Origin. Queensland versus New South Wales. And I could talk about State of Origin for hours. It's one of my hyperfixations. But the concept originated in the 80s. And they used to play an interstate series every year, but it was just where people were currently based. So all of the best players that came from Queensland would travel to New South Wales, because if you wanted to play seriously, you would be playing in the New South Wales competition. So what happened was Queensland would get absolutely smashed in this domestic state challenge, because all the best Queensland players would go and play for New South Wales teams, because that was where the money was. So the very first year they decided to do this State of Origin, where you were actually born, everyone thought that Queensland were going to get smashed. They were going to get flogged. Well, as it happens, Queensland won the first series and ended up winning the first 3 in a row, because Queensland players were so happy to be playing for where they were born instead of where they were playing. And it's got this tagline, state against state, mate against mate, because players that would play on the same team, they might play for a New South Wales team together, would then play off against each other in State of Origin, and they would fucking give it to each other. They would smash each other. And so it's it was always very aggressive and hotly contested, especially in the early days. Nowadays, it's less. I wouldn't say it's less aggressive, but the game's changed a lot, and so it's a little bit more skill focused now. But because they're the very best players in each of those positions, the skill that's on show is unbelievable, and it's the pinnacle of rugby league. And for most people that don't watch rugby league or don't enjoy sport, that will mean very little. But it's a tradition that I've had since I was 10. Alright, well, we're pretty much finished this trick. As far as I want to go with her anyway. Yeah, just Google's State of Origin Rugby League and just watch some stuff that comes up. It's fucking mental. Gridiron is a cool sport. It's a cool thing to watch. A lot of strategy, a lot of tactics. Rugby league is just aggression, out and out aggression. Where is me snake bite leather? Where are you at? Is that you? No, that's not you. There you are. I turned the comments back on because I realised you can't see comments on YouTube, but I put them back on the screen so people can see what we're talking about. I'm excited for my Warhammer Quest Darkwater journey. Cursed City I did about 4 years ago, and I painted the whole of Cursed City, and it was wonderful. I had a glorious time. And yeah, I think it's going to be super cool to paint Cursed City, Darkwater. Models are great. It's not that big a collection, mate. It's only 35 models. You can do it. I just think the models are really nice. That's the same with Cursed City. I just bought it for the models. Wanted to paint the undead. That was my basically my two favourite Warhammer factions right there: Cursed City and Darkwater. Undead and Nurgle. They're the two Warhammer armies that I enjoyed the most, played the most. Hey, going beyond one. Bobby Dazzler. Alright, let's do some black around the edges and we're done. Yeah, it is such a worthwhile addition to anyone's lexicon. It is just, it's got so much versatility, you know? Little Bobby Dazzler. Bobby D. Probably a few more little tweaks I will make to this girl actually, but I might do them off stream. Yeah, New Zealanders are a separate country, so that's not surprising. It is somewhat of an Australian term. Yeah, so I just want to tweak the hair a little. So we do that by doing a wash over that highlight, and that'll just re-add some saturation. That's thing number one I want to do. Thing number two, just want to tweak the skin tone a little on the chest. Maybe just add a little hint of redness. And then I just want to add some highlights. Small parts, sharp points. Welcome to the stream. You've joined at a inopportune time as we are about to finish up, but we'll raid on. We'll raid on together when I get onto raiding. But hope you're doing well. Friends, if you haven't seen my work before, I'd love to show you some of the things that I do. Here is an example of the type of projects that I normally work on and am about to start doing very soon. Yes, I apologise. I apologise for raiding you raiding while it's just about to leave. But so yeah, I like to do big projects, big dioramas with lots of models and expansive scenery and all sorts of crazy stuff. So that is an example of one of the projects I did a few years ago called Camelot. I want to push the Camelot. Thank you. Yes, that's one. Here's another one that I've done. This one's called Hyperborea. I do know them. I will mark UK. I will be showing the Nico one in a second. I like to show them all off for people that haven't seen what I do. This is kind of the G'day Numana Man. That's probably the thing I'm most well known for, at the moment at least. At the moment. I'll be more well known very soon for something else that I can't talk about yet. But yes, I've painted a lot of cool models. I love doing these dioramas because you get to combine so many cool figures that you wanted to paint, and you just get to do them all in one big project. So yeah, that one's Hyperborea. This is the Neon Knights. I can't explain that comment, you money man, but it is actually going to be true. That one lights up. Look at that. I did it so it lights up, and it's got fluoro stuff that you see in when you put it under a black light. That's why it's called Neon Knights. And one of the cool things I did with that, the screen changes too. The screen's got different pictures on it. I did all hidden messaging in invisible ink, so you can only see it under the black light. There's all hidden words and stuff, so you can see underneath the Neon Knights logo it says by Big Benno. I wrote stuff like that all over in invisible ink, which is cool. And then this is the latest one that I only finished last year. That's awesome. So this one is, the most recently finished one. It's also, I think, probably the best, like in terms of the story and cohesiveness and everything. I think it's the best. And I did a YouTube video where I talk about the actual building and painting and all that stuff. Challenges that come along with doing a giant project like this. It's quite a lot. But yeah, I've averaged one of these big projects a year alongside a whole raft of other projects as well. Yeah. But this is the next one. It's underway. We've started the next one. It's on a circular plinth, and it's going to be a lizardmen temple with lots of cool lizardmen guys on it. But yeah, and here's another model that I painted a little while ago. Boop. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna raid on. Yeah, all of those projects were from the same manufacturer. So the first one, the Echoes of Death, was or the Echoes of Camelot, was from Big Child Creatives. The second one, Hyperborea, had from a Kickstarter that had Aradia and Chimera models. Then the Nico Galaxy was obviously Neon Knights, and then Chimera models was that last one. And this one's all Aradia, so this is all Lizardmen models, which are sick. So yeah, and then the next, I think I had planned another one next. I've got a little notebook thing where I write down my ideas and what I'm going to do next. Another manufacturer for next time. So very exciting. But yeah, thank you all. I'm looking forward to starting Lizardmen Diorama. We'll probably be starting that in the next little while, probably in the next week or two, alongside the Parasite Queen and Screaming God when we get them. So let's have a look at who's streaming at the moment so we can raid on with friends. Anyone that I know streaming. Pun Expected's just started. Going for 54 minutes. Ooh. He's painting something from Nico Galaxy. Pun Expected gets the raid. Well done. Doing good stuff. Thank you all. Have a glorious week. Thanks for all of your hard work. I'll catch you all again soon. Big 10 out.